Land Claims Commission has allocated 108 houses for District 6 claimants who were previously dispossessed of their homes. The area's redevelopment project, now in its third phase, has seen a steady return of people who were forcibly removed when the area was reserved for white people under the Group Areas Act under apartheid. Affected residents were sent to various areas over the Cape Flats. The claimants will begin their move back to District 6 from the 24th of June this year upon acceptance of these houses. More redevelopment phases due for completion in 2024 are planned for the remaining claimants. Let's get you the latest on the story. We're joined by Land Reform Minister Thoko Didiza this morning. Minister, it's great to have you with us on the show. I want to begin with the good news aspect of the story. 108 houses, these housing units that are being allocated to District 6 claimants. Just take us through where we are at in terms of getting District 6 residents back to where they were forcibly removed from.
Thank you very much to Michelle and to the listeners. Just to say that this is the third phase where we are now allocating 108 units. We had already in the first and the second phase allocated to about 139 claimants. This is an addition to that, and we are continuing with the development of the fourth phase, which will complete the numbers of those that had opted for
it. I began the interview by saying it is a good news story in some respects, Minister, but the 108 claimants who will be returning to District 6 in many respects are not the people who were originally removed forcibly from their homes under the Group Areas Act. It's taken a long time for us to get to this point.
It has taken us a long time to this point, but you will recall that District 6 claim was actually settled in 2002, and that's when the first phase started. The allocation that government has made, unfortunately, could not be able to assist in the entire development of District 6. And it was for that purpose that the community then further approached government to assist them in the completion of their development process. The government finally agreed, but as you know that there was a challenge in the intervening period where some of the claimants took government to court, and that process actually ran its course, and there were certain specifications that government wanted to undertake in consultation with the claimant, which we have actually complied with. So the planning of the third phase had been completed with the claimants. We report to the court in accordance to the timelines that were given. Claimants are part and parcel of the process of planning, of looking at the units, of going with us at every given step.
Minister, how many claimants are there in total? And do you reckon that this is a true reflection of the people who were forcibly removed from District 6?
I must say that this indeed is not a true reflection of all the claimants, but do you know that as part of our legislation, claimants are actually supposed to apply, and out of those that applied, 1,274 opted for development. So this is the case that we are dealing with. But as we were consulting with the claimant, they agreed among themselves that some pieces of land must be retained so that in the second phase, there can be those who had applied in 2016 to be able to be housed going forward.
So you talk about housing units being allocated to claimants. Just take us through what that means. What is a housing unit?
What is a housing unit? Actually, there were two forms that were agreed to. In the first phase, we had single units. And now these are apartments where individual claimants will be allocated an apartment which comprises of 3 bedrooms, the living area, and the kitchen, as well as the bathroom, of course, to the claimants that had actually applied. So what had happened is that in consultation with the claimant, we agreed that we will have to prioritize the elderly so that they can actually reap the benefits of the land reform process that they had applied for.
So, Minister, I understand that today is when these housing units will be, you'll sort of begin the administrative process of handing over these housing units. It's not a done deal, even though these allocations have been made. The claimants will now be able to view these housing units, and they actually have an opportunity to reject them as well.
Yes, it is in a sense a done deal because allocation has been made in accordance with the principles that was agreed. So today the claimants will be viewing the units and indicate their satisfaction, and this actually relates to how, also the claimants, in terms of their age, in terms of their physical ability, whether they can be able to access the unit either on the second floor or on the first floor. So that's the administrative process actually that is being undertaken.
There are a mix, but this is in phase 3. Phase 3 is the next phase, isn't it, Minister? So in that phase, there'll be a mix of these housing units that you've just described to us, but also houses, row houses, that have the option of possible expansion as families move back to District 6.
Precisely, there is.
So, Minister, in terms of what you'd like to say to, the people of District 6, it's been such an incredibly long road about the next phase and what they can look forward to.
I must say that I would like to thank the community of who have actually walked this journey with us. It has not been an easy one, and we appreciate that some of the people might have not realized the final return to District 6 have passed on. But we really are grateful that those who are still around, they can still go back to the area where they have been forcibly. And as we go forward, we hope that this redevelopment of District will, in a sense, bring back the redress of what people had lost over the years.
Land Reform Minister Thoko Didiza, thanks very much for your time this morning. 108 housing units being allocated to District 6 claimants. Of course, they were forcibly removed under the Group Areas Act. Communities, families broken apart. A big ask there that situation can ever be healed in any kind of way. But the Minister is saying it goes some way in at least returning those families there to the area.